ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on in to a special interview edition of the PWTorch Fireside Chat. I'm PWTorch Assistant Editor Zack Heydorn, and with me today, Matt Cardona. Matt, such a blast to have you. Big weekend coming up here in Chicago. Really excited to talk to you, man.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I just landed. I'm at the gym about to go in. I had NWA 74, a bunch of NWA tapings. I'm home for 24 hours, fly to Chicago, have the wrestling showcase, have GCW. I think I'm the busiest man in pro wrestling.
But you wouldn't have it any other way, right?
That's right. I mean, I am the self-made superstar for a reason because, I want the buzz, I want the money, I want the gold, and I'm going to make sure I get all three of those things.
No, well, good for you, good for you. So, listen, man, my first question, and it's something that I've been wanting to ask for so long. You are so ahead of the curve in terms of where the wrestling industry goes from a creative perspective, but also from a business perspective too. Like all the ways pro wrestling companies now are making money digitally is stuff that you started 10 plus years ago. And I just am curious as to how, like, your take on being ahead of the curve the way that you are, what goes into that, and how do you look back on it now, seeing where everything went in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I'm responsible for it. No way, because it would have happened eventually, right? I mean, the whole world revolves around social media. But I was using it in a time where, okay, I was on WWE TV. I didn't like my spot. This is before, passive-aggressive tweets were the cool thing to do. So I wanted to change everything. I needed to figure out a way to do that. And I was using YouTube, social media, things I was using as Matt Cardona, the person, but I was using them as Zack Ryder, the wrestler, but incorporating the characteristics of Matt Cardona and kind of blurring the lines. And, I wasn't just the guy who would lose in 5 minutes on Raw. I had, other, not only abilities, but other things that I was into, other interests, Star Wars, Ghostbusters, and I was letting people in on a different side of me, and I think they related to me, and they wanted to see me, get on TV, get a T-shirt, get on pay-per-view, win a title. So it all happened so fast. I wish I could say it was this master plan and I had every little step mapped out. I didn't. I knew I wanted to get on TV in a bigger role some way, somehow, and I did whatever I could to get there.
Yeah, that's so interesting, especially like to look back now and, you hear, social media engagement and social media numbers and, being up year over year on, corporate WWE calls. And to think about, how that started with you all those years ago is pretty darn impressive. And I got to imagine you look back on it and, I'm assuming you're proud of that, correct?
I'm extremely proud of it. And, if it wasn't for me doing that, I don't think we'd be having this phone call right now, Mm-hmm. It changed my career, it changed my life, and I have a connection with the audience that I credit to those days, those YouTube days, and a connection that is so strong that they have followed me through the highs and the lows because, everyone knows my story, right? A lot of ups and downs. But every time, like, there was a little chance that something positive could be in my future, the fans were behind me 100%, and I thank them for that.
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing I kind of line up with your career is this ability to reinvent yourself at the right time. I think, you could have probably gone on the independent scene after your WWE run and leaned into the Zack Ryder thing and, got good bookings and made good money. And I feel like that's such a popular act that you could have ridden that for a long, long time. But instead, you pivoted and you changed it up and you went a little more aggressive, a lot more edge. So artistically speaking, from like you as an artist in the ring and on the mic and building a character, what goes into the thought process of, okay, I could do this, I could stay the course, I could just play that card and go with it, or I could roll the dice and try something new. I mean, just what goes into that thought process and the development of such a drastic change?
Yeah, well, even while I was in WWE, I dropped the headband and glasses and all the goofy stuff like probably like a decade ago now, and for a while I was just Zack Ryder on the roster. I tried to be, as aggressive as I could in the ring, grew out the beard, tried to be, taken more seriously, but I don't write the shows, you know what I'm saying? So I can't control certain things about how I'm presented, like my physique, my look. I can change that. But that's about it, and every time I got an opportunity to prove myself, I think I did a hell of a job. But once I left WWE, I said, okay, not that I had handcuffs on me, but the handcuffs were off, so to speak. And I could do whatever I wanted. And I knew I needed a change. I knew I didn't want to be like the honky tonk man, just doing the gimmick for the rest of my life. Like, would it have worked? Yes. But that's not what I wanted, because I wanted to reinvent myself. I'm not on the, I'm not going down the slide of my career. I'm climbing that ladder. I'm still going up. I haven't even, hit my prime yet, in my opinion. So I knew I needed something. And I'll be honest, it took a while to figure out what it was, because I got released in the middle of the pandemic. There's no indies going on. And if there are, there's like 15 fans, social distance with masks. I'm like, I'm not doing that bullshit. I had to wait until the world opened up. And then once I did, and that GCW opportunity fell into my lap, that changed everything for me. To be able to show, hey, I have a different side, and I can hang with this deathmatch king, Nick Gage. Not only can I hang, but I beat him.
Talk about that match a little bit. Certainly a different style than your audience and your fans have seen from you. So I mean, I'm just curious, like, as to what the match was like. I asked that of every deathmatch wrestler that I talk with, just because it's just a fascinating art form. And then also, is it different mapping out a match like that than it is, a traditional WWE style match? And if so, how is it different, and how did you and Nick Gage do it?
Well, the thing is, it's something that I knew would create buzz, right? People thought I was crazy for doing this match. Like, I had like people in the business, friends in the business who are like in the business, wrestlers, texting me, calling me, DMing me, all the way up to the day of the show, like, do not do this match. Do not do this match. This guy's crazy. This guy's nuts. You're going to get hurt. You're going to regret this. And I'm like, if these people are believing, then the rest of the world's going to believe. And I knew it would create interest and buzz, but there's no way I could have predicted how much buzz it would have created. I mean, that night, GCW, which is on Fight TV, it's not even like real pay-per-view, right? It was against the UFC and the Olympics, and it was trending #1 because of me and Nick Gage. That's unbelievable. And as far as putting the match together, I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I didn't watch deathmatch wrestling. I still don't, right? Like, and yeah. To prepare for Nick Gage, I tried watching the Dark Side of the Ring just to know a little bit about him, and I had to shut it up. It was too goddamn gory for me, But for someone to not respect that, it's just another part of the art form, Like, there's so many different flavors of ice cream in wrestling, right? And to say that deathmatch wrestling is not a flavor is just being ignorant, because it is. It has a diehard audience, and some of the most diehard fans and audiences I've ever performed in were GCW fans. So I love GCW. Now, will I do another deathmatch? No, I don't have to. I beat the king. I am now the king, and that's it. I'm one and done.
There you go. Okay, two more questions for you here, and then we'll let you go. Going from working in the WWE, where it's very, you know what it is. Like you said, the show's written for you. You know the style in the ring. You know what they're asking you to do, and you're going from that environment to all these different independent promotions that all have their different nuances and NWA and GCW and a host of other ones that you've worked. What's the mindset as you go company to company? Because they're all a little bit different. How do you prepare as a performer and as an artist to step into those different environments, sometimes, on a day-to-day basis?
I think I can adapt to anyone in any style. Goddamn, I think I proved that with that death match, huh? I can do anything. And that's not to Barry Horowitz, pat myself on the back, but I truly believe that. And for a while, I was only a bad guy in GCW. I was still a white meat babyface in Impact. I'm going to these indies around the country. They're cheering me on. But then slowly but surely, it's like I'm walking through a curtain and I hear some boos and a couple of people flipping me off. And it was really challenging, but in a fun way. It's like, okay, I don't know how they're going to react to me tonight. And it would be like 50-50 cheers and boos, then 75% boos. And now it's no matter what, no matter where I go around the world, 100% boos. And I love it because I could still be, for instance, in Impact Wrestling, they're on Access TV. I can't be like flipping off the fans. So you got to adjust the level of the new attitude of Matt Cardona on all these different shows. And I'm all for it. It's a challenge, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, tremendous. Really cool insight. Thank you. All right, so this weekend, wrestling showcase. You've got a lot on your plate and some potential really, really exciting opponents. Is there anybody that you're looking forward to working with? And, what's your thoughts on this on this kind of new tournament that you're going to be involved with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really digging this tournament. For a while, I wasn't sure if I'd be able to compete. But listen, I got back in 3 months, under 3 months. I tore my bicep earlier this year. I had to relinquish all of my titles, which absolutely sucked. But, now I'm going to recollect them. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get them all back, including this Wrestling Showcase title. And the first match I have is Tatanka. And it's pretty cool. A guy who I played with his Hasbro wrestling figure. Now I'm going to kick his ass in the middle of the ring. But Tatanka, he can still go. He can still go. And I'm excited for that matchup. And then you look at the card, you look at the other people in the tournament, and there's a lot of interesting matchups. But I don't give a shit about 5-star, 6-star, 10-star matches. I care about winning. I care about winning. I care about that title. I care about winning as fast as possible. So if you're looking for some cool gifts that will be on Twitter, I'm not here to provide the gifts. Or whatever those things are called. I'm here to win. I'm here to make the money, and then I'm going to go to GCW and get even more money. That's what I'm all about. And this Wrestling Showcase title, I will bring it all over the country with me. I will make sure that I can represent this Wrestling Showcase. Now, there's a lot of people, a lot of great competitors I have to go through. But I'm always ready. I'm always ready for anybody in this tournament. So I don't care what happens, who wins what match. And with Brian Myers, he's going to be in the building. Chelsea Green on my side. I have a pretty good feeling I'm going to walk out as a champ.
All right, there you go. Wrestling Showcase this weekend. You can catch it on Fight TV. Matt, thank you so much for taking the time. Really great insight into kind of your career and where things are at. And congrats on all the success. And looking forward to talking soon. Let's do this again sometime.
Awesome. Absolutely. Take care.